Okay, perfect. So it's 3-1 now. I'm going to start. So quickly. So meanwhile, if you think that the voice is not audible, or if you're facing any problem, please let me know. Either you can let me know over the meeting itself, or you can chat. Perfect. So thanks a lot for joining the second session on SQL. And so quickly in another 5 minutes, I will try to cover the things which we have discussed yesterday. So yesterday we were discussing about this syntax of creating a table, means how you can create a table. Then we discussed that what is the need of a table in a database, why we need table. Then we discussed that the table is something where we can store data. Perfect. Table is something where we can store data. Okay. After that, we have discussed that why we want to store data. You see, like everything is like in a flow chart. First thing, creating table. Second thing, why I want to create a table. Table is something which will help me to store data. Third thing, why I want to store data. Okay, just I will create a flow chart of this. So what is the first thing? Create a table. Okay. Second thing, why we need table. And what's the answer for this, guys? To store data, right? And then the next is why we want to store data. Who will give the answer for this? Hello.
To calculate our business revenue.
Okay, fine. Anyone else? Why you want to store data?
Procedure. To
Right.
analyze data.
Analyze data.
Manage business effectively.
Calculation. Manage business. Please pardon me for any spelling mistake. Okay, perfect. Or you can tell like to generate reports, right? So to do all these stuffs, we need data. If you want to analyze data, why I want to analyze data? Because I want to understand how my company is performing, right? So for that case, you have to analyze the data. Maybe like sometime you have to do some calculation. You think that when you're going to an ATM machine and when you click on that button to get your statement, so automatically the statement comes. So something is happening at the back end. Some calculation is happening at the back end. You can see credit, debit, interest rate, and all those stuffs are coming. So how that is happening? Some calculation is happening. So for that calculation, you must provide some data, right? And the next thing is manage business effectively. The perfect answer. You all have given a very good answer. You want to manage business effectively. How? Because until and unless you don't know how your company is performing, where you have to improve your business, where the business is not working correctly, where you have to change your rules and regulations, so it will be difficult to manage your business. And for that you need data. And the last is to generate reports, right? So the reports which I have shown you yesterday, so that's again is based on the data what we are storing. So the final thing is you need data, and data, right? And data is the world. And that's why nowadays, if you see that most of the jobs are data centric, whether you go for data analyst, data scientist, big data, machine learning, artificial intelligence. So for all these technologies, the main stuff is data. Okay. So that's why we want to store data and all those stuffs. Okay. Now going back to the slide. Okay. Just a minute. Yeah. So we discuss about this, and then we discuss about the reserved key. Sure. Then we discuss about the reserved keywords. Okay. Anyone? What is the reserved keyword?
Create and table.
What
Yeah. What's the reserved keyword, guys?
we cannot use as a variable. What which cannot be we cannot use as a variable.
Okay.
Is a
Anyone
result
else?
word like
Okay, that's correct. That's right. So reserved keywords are something like they are meant for SQL engine. Okay, those are the words of SQL engine. Like I have mentioned here, create. This is something like for SQL engine. Whenever I will write create here, my SQL engine will understand that my user wants to create something. So we discussed about that reserved keywords yesterday. Please let me know if you want me here to repeat anything. Okay, I'm just moving a little bit quickly because we have discussed all this stuff yesterday. Similarly, table, is this a reserved keyword? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. It is
Yes,
also
sir.
a
Yes,
Yes.
reserved
yes.
keyword. And what is this persons?
No, person is
Table
not
name.
reserved
Person
keyword.
is the
Table
name of
name.
the table.
Table name. Perfect. So this person, can I give any name or any specific name I have to give?
Yeah, any name. You
Yes.
can give any name.
Perfect.
Any
Very good.
any
Very good.
name.
I can give any name. Okay. Now I want to create a table with the name table. Is it possible?
No.
No,
No.
sir.
Why?
It's
Because
a
it is a
reserved
It's
keyword.
a
reserved
Because
reserved
keyword.
keyword.
it's reserved word.
Because table has been reserved. Who has reserved this?
Table.
SQL in engine.
Table.
Engine.
SQL engine has reserved this. And for this, guys, just a request, very, very, very humble request. Those who are not speaking, please go on mute. The moment you have to answer, go on unmute and immediately please go on mute. Okay. Thank you. Thanks a lot. So this has been reserved by SQL engine, so we cannot use this name. Okay, this is exactly same as the example which I have mentioned yesterday about a mall, that you have a manager and he has a reserved parking, and so anyone, if anyone wants to is to park his car, so they cannot do so because that has been reserved for the manager of that mall. So similarly, this is a reserved keyword. Perfect. This is clear to you. Very good. And then what is this person? What is this person ID? This is a column, right? Person ID is a column. First name, this is a you can see this first name, this is again column. Last name, these are columns. Okay, so person ID, can I write, can I give any name here, whatever I want?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Perfect. You can give
Yes,
any
sir.
name, any name you can give. You can give your person ID, or you can give your employee ID, you can give your restaurant ID, that is your wish. But the only condition is this should not be same as the reserved keywords. Okay, fine. No.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Now the next thing is number. This number is a data type. Varchar 250, this is data type. Varchar 250, again, this is a data type. Now we discussed about the data type as well, that what all are the data types. Then we have discussed yesterday that data types are something that you have to mention after every column. If you're using any column, then you have to mention what's the data type of that. Just let me open this Excel sheet. Okay, so for that you have to use a data type. You have to mention the column and what you're going to use. So what's the value you want to give here? Like yesterday I have shown you that suppose if you want to create a table employee, and maybe like you have employee ID and you have uh, employee name and maybe some other thing. Okay, maybe like you have date of birth, right? So in employee ID, can you write A here? ABCD, something like that. Have you seen this kind of employee ID?
No, sir.
No.
No. So most of the
No.
time you might have seen that employee ID starts with some alpha, some numbers, right? We will talk about this. Why always employee ID is having number? There's a specific reason for that. Okay, we'll discuss that later on. So employee ID will always be something in terms of numbers. You all agree, right? And name, obviously, this is some name like Abdul or Nasif, Azhar, something like that. Okay. And date of birth, we all know it is date of birth something 1990 or 1989 or something 1970, something like that. Maybe like it will be a specific 6th of February 1990, something like that. Okay. So just a common data I'm giving here. So just from this example, I'm just trying to tell you that whenever you're creating a table, then you have to mention the columns. So can I tell employee ID, employee name, and date of birth is a column here, right? Correct? No. So these all are columns, and these all are the rows or the records. So if someone tells you, tell me the first record of this table, so the first record of this table is employee ID is 12345 6, employee name is Abdul, date of birth is 1990. If someone asks you that, okay, tell me the third record of this table, the third record of this table is 67685, Azhar, and 1970, right? Okay, my question is, this table is having totally four four rows, right? This is having 4 rows or 3 rows?
4.
Four. Okay. Any other?
Four.
Three. 3 rows.
3 rows.
Okay, perfect. Guys, okay. Thank you.
3 rows.
So this is having only 3 rows. Why? Whenever you have to calculate the rows, the records, then you don't have to mention this header or the column name. Okay, so never consider this column name in your rows. Got it? No, this employee ID, employee name, and date of birth is not a record. This is just mentioning the column name of this table employee. Got it? Clear? So this table is having how many rows? 3 rows, or you can tell 3 records. Hope this is clear to you, right? So maybe like after 1 or 2 months we'll start a session on Unix. So there is again you have a concept of this rows, records, and the trailer header. So there again the same concept will come once again there. So we'll see that down the line. Okay, perfect. So hope this is clear to you. And we discuss, okay, sorry, I was telling you about that data type. So in this, the data type of employee ID will always be number. Data type of employee name will be varchar. Data type of date of birth is date. We will see that what is this number, what is this varchar, and all those stuffs. Okay, so now the question which I have asked yesterday is why we need data type. Question is why we need data type. Okay, who will give me the answer for this?
To make space efficiently, to optimize the space,
Space
and to make the
optimization. Calculations,
to,
right?
and
To make calculations.
easy.
Okay, right. To make calculations happen. Perfect. Okay, so these 2 reasons I have told you, and even if you're going to face an interview, if someone asks you that why we need data types, why I have to mention data type, maybe they can ask you this question. Okay, you have created a table person, you have a column person ID, you have a column first name, you have a column last name, then why you have mentioned number here? You will tell, sir, this is the data type of this person ID. The question is why you are mentioning number. Question is why. So the reason is when you are mentioning data type, it helps in the calculation, the first thing, and the second thing is it helps in space optimization. So in today's session, I will tell you that how it helps in the space optimization and in calculations. Okay, and then after that we discuss about this primary key. So what is primary key? Primary key or key, anything?
A primary key which is used to identify two record uniquely. One record uniquely.
Perfect. Very good.
Yes.
Uniquely identifies records. And what are the example of this?
The
Like
employee IDs,
voter ID card, Aadhaar card, employee ID,
Anyone else who wants this one?
registration number.
Registration number. Perfect. Your USN number, right? So these all are the perfect example of your primary key. So guys, that's perfect. This is clear to you. Okay, so fine. This I have not taught you yesterday. What is not null? So maybe like we will see this today. So any question do you have so far? Any question? Anyone wants to ask any question so far? Hope this all is clear to you. Okay, perfect. Moving to the next one. So we have discussed data. The table is nothing but this is a collection of data in a database, and this is organized in rows and columns. Okay, perfect. And this is example we have seen. And like this is example of a table. You have this key column. You have this as a columns, customer ID, first name, last name, date created ID, and these all are the records. Okay. So in this table, if I will ask you how many columns are there, who will give me the answer?
4.
4
4
columns.
columns are there.
Okay. Anyone else who is having some different answer? Perfect. This is having 4 columns. How many records?
10. 11. Sorry, 11.
11 or 12?
11.
11.
11. Perfect.
11.
Very good. Very good. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. What is the key column in this table?
Customer ID.
Perfect. Perfect. Awesome.
Customer ID.
Perfect. Very good. So it means you all guys have understood everything. Very good. So these things we have discussed in the table, like we have rows, columns, record, and key. And what is a database? Okay, let's start from here. What is a database? Just quickly, guys. We have just 1 hour time. Okay. What's a database? Why we need
Database is
database?
a container which contains data in an organized way.
Okay. So just hold on. So may I know who is this?
Miraj.
Miraj, perfect, Miraj. So you told like database is a container which stores what?
Store data in a structured way.
Stores data in a structured way. So just a structure, keep it side. Okay, we will discuss that as structure and structure after some time. Okay. So you are telling Miraj that database is something that which stores data. Very good. That's the correct answer. So next question is, before this we were discussing about table. That table is also something which stores data. Now database is again you are telling that it stores data. Then what's the difference between database and table?
Database is a
Da-
collection of number of tables. And
Perfect. May I know who's this?
table
Azhar.
Azhar.
Perfect, Azhar. So fine, perfect. Very good, very good, very good. See, like database and table. Let's try to understand this. Like, suppose we are staying in our house. Then in our house we have 3 to 4 room or something like that. So entire house is like a database, and your separate rooms they are like a table. Now it's clear. Is it clear,
Yes.
guys? Okay.
Yes, sir.
yes.
Then maybe like later point of time we will discuss about table space, schema. So maybe I'm telling these all things because maybe like some of you who knows the concept of database, they will be thinking then what's the difference between table space and a schema. Okay, so don't go in those concepts as of now. So maybe we'll discuss that after some time. And if anyone is interested, they can ping me or they can ask me. Okay. So I'm not going to the table space schema and all those concepts as of now. Okay, so just very high level example, database is something where multiple tables can be stored, and table is something where you're storing data. That's all, no further confusion. Okay, now second point, OLAP and OLTP. I bet you in 95% of the interview, they will ask you this question: what is OLAP and what is OLTP? So OLAP, OLAP stands for Online Analytical Processing. OLAP is Online Ana Processing, and OLTP, Transactional Processing. Okay, let's try to understand what is OLAP and what is OLTP. Okay, suppose I am telling you one question that suppose I ask you that for a particular company, maybe like maybe like okay fine. So about take the example of Airtel company. Okay, so if I'm asking the manager or the HR guy of Airtel that okay, tell me what was the total revenue of Airtel in 2010? So the question is, tell me the total revenue of Airtel in 2010. So what the HR will do? He will go in his database and he will check the data of 2010. And suppose if they don't have the data of 2010, so it will become difficult for them to give me that total revenue, right? So here, what he will do is the HR will go into the historical data, right? So whenever you are dealing with any historical data, that is known as OLAP. And if you are dealing with some transactional data, that is known as OLTP. Transaction data means like suppose if I ask the HR of Airtel, okay, tell me yesterday how many calls happened, total how many transactions happened, how many calls happened within India, how many calls happened outside India. Okay, this is something about daily transaction I'm asking. Okay, or suppose if I'm having if I'm having a sweet shop. Okay, so I can ask a question that how many transactions happened yesterday to my manager. So that is transactional data, that is known as OLTP. And if I will ask my manager that okay, tell me the total revenue which we have generated in the month of June in 2016. So for this, he has to go into the historical data, right? And from there, he or she can derive the information. So that is why that is known as OLAP. So whenever you are dealing with the historical data, that is known as OLAP. And whenever you are dealing with the transactional data, okay, means daily basis data, that is known as OLTP. So is this clear? Any
Yes.
doubt?
No, sir.
No doubt. Okay. Okay. So now I have a question for you. Suppose I am asking that I'm asking that in 2010, tell me what was sorry in 2011. Tell me the total run scored by India in the World Cup. That is OLAP or OLTP?
OLAP.
OLP.
OL,
OLAP.
OLAP, OLAP,
OLAP.
right? Why?
Because it is
Because it's a
a
historical data.
historical data.
Because that is historical data. You have to store the data. And suppose if we are not storing that historical data, it will become difficult. No, suppose I ask you a question. Okay, in 2011 in the World Cup, tell me what was the total run scored by MS Dhoni. Bit difficult, no? So if you don't have the database, if we have not stored the exact run by scored by each and every cricket, it will become difficult for me to tell the exact run. What? Or suppose if I will ask, okay, tell me the average run scored by the Indian batsman in 2011 World Cup, right? So to do all these calculations, maybe I can ask you, tell me the run rate, tell me the strike rate, right? Tell me the total number of fours which were hit in. So for all those things, if you don't have the historical data, it will become difficult for you to give the answer, right? So that's why sometimes you have to store historical data in your database. And that's why those data are known as, what they're known as, guys?
OLAP.
OLTP. Okay. And
Analytical
suppose
process.
OLTP is like nowadays IPL is going on. If I ask you, okay, tell me yesterday the team which was playing, what is the total run they have scored? So that data is OLTP, means something which is happening on a daily basis, daily transaction. Okay. And slowly OLTP becomes your OLAP. Okay. So this is something about OLAP and OLTP. Hope this is clear to you. That's why I've written OLAP is historical data.
I have
OLTP
a
is,
question.
yeah, please tell me.
So, is there any time limit when OLTP becomes OLAP?
No, no, no. That's very good question. Actually, this depends on each and every business. Okay. Sometimes a particular business is they don't have requirement that, okay, I want to just hold the data for last 10 years. Maybe like I want to hold data for last 20 years. So that depends on each and every business. We don't have any specific definition. Maybe when you will Google this, no, we'll get the same answer that you don't have any specific definition or time frame for that. That okay, for the last 2 years data, I will tell you this is OLAP, something like that. Okay. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And one more example you have about your Microsoft Outlook. You all are using your email box. So maybe if you're using your official email box, you might have seen that your email will stay here for a period of 7 years, something like that. Have you seen this, guys? Or 8 years, something like 5 years. So maybe if you have not noticed, then in your Microsoft Outlook, your company is having that a policy to retain the mail. That for suppose in my company they have a policy to retain the email just for 7 years. It means after 7 years that email will be deleted. So it means they are going to maintain the history of emails for the last 7 years only. Okay, this is again a very good example of OLAP. Okay, moving to something like RDBMS. So, okay, leave this RDBMS as of now. Now, quickly, I will cover this after some time. I want to show you one. Okay, these are the scopes. If you're going, if you have good understanding of SQL, and if you're going through all these profiles, maybe like database administrator, database architect, database designer, database developer, database tester, data analyst. So for all these profiles, SQL is one of the prerequisite. Okay. And these are required in reports, graphs, analysis, decision, and policy maker, which already I have mentioned. These are all the tools: OBI, Power BI, Tableau, SQL Developer, Microsoft SQL Server, Netezza, Teradata. Maybe I'm not sure how many of you have worked on this, but if you want to work on any of those tools, SQL is something which is required, and you must know this. These all are the reserved keywords which I have mentioned earlier. I have shown you about create. Today we will discuss about delete, alter, between, where. These all are the reserved keywords. Okay, so you cannot use these keywords for your sake. And that's why I mentioned reserved keywords have a special meaning and purpose, which are meant to be processed by SQL engine. These reserved keywords are the property of SQL engine, you cannot use that. Okay, now I will move to some coding part. Data type I will cover after some time. This is something theoretical, maybe you will get bored. Okay, let's come to this create syntax, table syntax. So today we will see how to create a table. So guys, everything is clear so far, you or else you're looking for some clarification, please let me know. Is this clear? Because from now onwards, we're going to start the coding part of this. Okay, and for this, I need some good concentration. And let me know if you want any, if you're looking for any clarification. Fine.
Yes, sir. Fine.
Perfect. So now I'm going to create a table. So what I have planned is I will mix the coding part and the theoretical part. Okay, so that will be easy for you to understand. So continuously, if I will tell you the theoretical part, maybe you will get bored. Okay, so this is about that create table. Here I'm trying to create a table employee. This is having column employee ID, first name, last name. This is the data types, and this is the primary key. Employee ID is a primary key, and not null I will discuss later on. Okay, so just I'm trying to create this table. I'm running this query. I will share all these links with you that where you can do all those things, so don't bother about that. So I'm working on the study material. I will share with you as soon as possible. Okay, so I'm running this employee table. Employee already exists. Okay, so the selling table employee already exists. So okay, I will make employees. Okay, employees, because employee table is already there, that's why it has given error message. So if some table, if any one table is already present in the database, you cannot create that table again. Okay, or else do one thing. Just a minute, hold on. Okay, now I have deleted that table. Now I can create. Okay, so here I'm creating a table employee. Let's see what happens. It is telling result, you have made changes to the database. What's the meaning of this? The SQL engine is telling that you have done some changes in the database. Why it is telling so that I have done some changes in the database?
Because a new table has been inserted.
Because I have created a new table employee, and that's what it's saying, that we have made some changes to the database. Now the question is how I can verify that I have created a table. How I can check that table has been created, right? How to check that?
Shows under the list of your database.
That's correct. That is one of the way that you can go. You can see here in your database, you can see the list of the tables. Okay, but in the real
Yes, sir.
world, when you're
Yes.
going to work on this, we will not get to see this list. Okay, for that you have a very long method. You have to go in that view part, the connection part, then you have to drill down. Okay, so you have a shortcut for that. Whenever you are creating a table and you have to verify that my table has been created or not, just you have a small magic. Write this command, select a star from. I will tell you what this command is all about. Don't bother about that. So just write select a star from. This is something magic. Consider this as a magic. I will tell you what is this select, what is this a star, what is this from. So don't bother about that as of now. So whenever you are creating a table and you have to verify that table has been created or not, just write this command, select a star from, and that table name. Okay, and then after that run this. Oh my God, it is telling that no result. So it means table has not been created.
No, there is no data in the table.
Okay,
It means
perfect,
that.
perfect. Anyone else who want to discuss something?
Yes, sir. The table is right now empty. It is fetching just the rows of the table records.
Perfect,
This
perfect.
query.
Very good, very good. Very good. So
We
it means,
may use
yeah. So
something
it is
like this
telling that,
type.
yeah, sure, perfect. So it is telling that the table has, if you're getting no result, it means table has been created. But in this table, we don't have any data as of now. That's when no result is coming here. Okay. Now, if you see this database, you can see all these tables are there. Okay. So do you have a table with name India? Do we have a table with name India here?
No.
No, sir.
No. Okay. Now suppose I am checking here that do we have the table with name India, and I'm going to run this SQL. Any thoughts? What is the output I'm going to get here? This table is not present here. What it will tell me?
No such table exists.
Okay, perfect. Let's see. It is telling could not prepare a statement. No such table in India. Is this correct?
Yes, sir.
It's getting clear to you
Yes, sir.
all. If table is not present, your
Yes.
database, your SQL engine will tell you that table is not present. Okay, sometime it will tell table does not exist, or sometime it will tell no such table. So all those things makes same sense. Okay. So now coming back to our original table employee. So I think now this is clear to you why this has given me no result. Perfect. Okay, fine, very good. Now let's the next thing we have created table. What should we do next? That's all. Database is created.
Excuse
Enter
me.
some data.
We should
Okay.
add the details.
Okay. Now, so the next thing is we will try to insert some data into this. Okay. So let me go to this part. Okay. I have a syntax here. This is something critical. So please give full concentration. This from here we have started the main coding of SQL language. Okay. So okay, just a minute. Okay. Here I have plotted this table. Okay, one thing, why this is coming in blue?
Sir, because it is keyword. It is a keyword.
Keywords.
Because these all are the reserved keywords. So whenever you're writing a SQL query, so anything is coming in blue, it means these all are the reserved keywords. Okay,
Okay.
fine. Not null. This is a reserved keyword of SQL engine. Please don't touch this. This is having 440 volt. Okay, this will give you a very strong error message if you're trying to make something with this. Okay. Now the next thing is in this employee table, I'm trying to insert some data. Okay, so this is a syntax of inserting data in a table. Inserting data in a table. So let's try to understand this. How we can insert data in a table. So the first is insert. Now tell me, this insert is a reserved keyword or not?
Yes, this is the
Yes,
keyword.
reserved keyword. So, so whenever I'm writing insert, so my SQL engine will understand that okay, my user wants me to insert something, right? Then my SQL engine will ask me that okay, boss, tell me where you want to insert, what you want to insert, right? Then I will tell to my SQL engine that I want to insert into employee. So from this part, I'm just telling to my SQL engine that I want to insert something in employee table, right? Then the SQL engine will tell me that, okay, tell me the column name in your employee table. What are the column names? So you can see I have used column name as employee ID, first name, and the last name, right? So that's why I have mentioned here employee ID, first name, last name. Okay. So I will stop here. Till here, any questions?
No, sir.
Yeah, perfect. Now values. Now I'm telling to my SQL engine that okay, I want to insert something in this employee table which is having column employee ID, first name, last name, and these all are the values. One, Tanveer and Khan. Now tell me one value. This is for which column? Employee ID, first name or last name?
Employee ID.
Employee ID.
Perfect. Tanveer.
First name,
Last name.
Khan is for last name, right?
last name.
Okay. Okay, fine, perfect, very good. So now I'm trying to insert this data in my table. Okay, that's what I'm going to run this query. Let's see what's output we are going to get. Okay, it is saying in results section, it's saying that you have made changes to the database. Rows affected one. What's the meaning of this?
One
If
row
the
added to the
One
have
row is
database.
added
inserted in an employee table.
Okay, so it means like I have added a data in this table, and how many records I've added?
One.
One record. That's the rows
One
affected
record.
is one. Correct?
One.
Now, next thing, I have to verify the data is there or not. What should I do? Again, I have to do some magic. And what is that magic? Select
run
Select the star
a
from employee.
start from employee.
from employee. And someone is doing magic on the screen. Please don't do that magic. It's okay. So, fine. Okay. So now I'm trying to run this. Now tell me what you think, what will the output will be getting here?